Doc. I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
The disease. And I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent.
There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gimme Back My Action Movies, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Pete. Say hello to the people, Pete.
Nice dog.
Nice dog.
And your response is, tastes good, too.
Well, yeah. That
Hi,
probably
Charlie.
works. I was going to say that works in certain parts of the world. Sure. So, and beside Pete on my screen is the lovely Anna, our scream queen. One day I will get that word out without stepping on it so damn hard.
Every time.
Hello, Anna.
Hello, fellas. Thanks for having me again. Week 2. Back
Week
to
2.
action.
Yep, we are. It's been a long break. I feel like we haven't done an action movie in forever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. So yeah, we're doing our shortened month of Neon, and so we're only doing one horror, which we just did, Anna's Possessor, which was kind of a wild, trippy. Still
that was
don't
wild.
quite know what to think about that movie.
All I know is I liked it.
Yeah, I gotta say it was a great conversation too between all of us.
I think the conversation was great. I think I still haven't watched it a second time. I will, and I'm sure I'll probably like it more. Not that I didn't like it, but I'll like it more the more I watch it. So
Definitely, yeah.
And I say that just like that because the movie we're covering this week has been on our list for what, Pete? Almost a year since we did Month of Neon last year.
Yeah, we got through Month of Neon. And we all started looking again for more movies with neon in the title, and this is one of the first ones that popped up on Tubi because it was, you just typed neon in, and this is one of the first ones. This one, and
it was number 3.
Neon Maniacs. Yeah, they all just popped up. It's great.
Yeah, so
made it easy.
We kind of we made the call. None of us had seen it, so this is a cold watch.
Cold watch.
Even for Anna, even though this was picked with Nate, it was still a cold watch for everyone.
Yep.
We even tossed around the idea of me watching it ahead of time, but I was like, you know what? We hit a home run with Neon Maniacs. I wanted to see if we struck lightning again.
Have you seen that one, Anna? That was
no, I haven't. I've heard about it though.
It is right there from being a great movie, like a great movie.
Yeah,
and I know Charlie's obsessed right now with.
I still
maybe
am.
Making it back. I know
it feels bad that I've gone a year and I haven't really worked on that at all. But do a podcast every week, so that takes up quite a
Whose
bit
fault
of time.
is that?
That's yours.
Yeah,
it's my fault. Of course.
It's your fault, Pete. I'm gonna blame you for everything. So yeah, this one has literally been on our schedule all year. It's why we decided to keep going with a shortened month of Neon, because this movie was specifically earmarked for that, and the rest of the year is set up once Nate comes back, so we had to do it now. So I was like, you know what, let's do a neon horror, let's do a neon action, and then we'll just have fun for the rest of the month. And that's kind of what we're going on here. So yeah, we are doing 1991's Neon City, and the biggest thing that struck us all that we were like, hands down, we're going to cover it, was because this stars Michael Ironsides,
leading man. He's top build.
He is top build. So I was in. I love Michael Ironside. He's one of my favorite villains. I love just about anything he's in, even all the way up to where he was in Nobody, playing the wife's dad. So he was the father-in-law in that movie.
Oh my gosh, he was. That's right.
Yeah. And then of course in Turbo
totally
Kid,
forgot that.
from our last Neon month. I love him in that one.
I just love that movie.
it's a really good movie. So
Yeah, and I even told Hannah too, because when I got the list of what we were covering this month and I was looking them all up, I was like, oh man, this one's got Michael Ironside. Hell yeah. This was like the most promising of the ones for me.
Okay.
Or so I thought.
no,
Or so you thought.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Come on now. Come on.
Someone's playing their hand a little early.
Let's save the spiciness for later. You want that spiciness after the bite. You want it to come, the heat to come up afterwards.
You're just dipping your chip in. Like you just got the salsa in the basket of chips to your table and you're just getting a first taste right now.
You didn't quite get the jalapeno yet. She's
exactly.
She's dancing around it. But I did get something really cool. And something that I didn't know I wanted till we started finding them was trailers for this movie for VHS stores to carry it. So I have a VHS retail trailer to play us tonight.
I forgot we were doing those. Yeah, this is really cool.
I look all the time because these are like my favorite thing now. And I guess they are really hard to come across, especially a movie that almost no one knows about.
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't know about this movie till last year. So straight up. So here is our Neon City VHS retailer trailer.
Hold on. Far into the next century, the Earth's prognosis is hopeless.
Folks, you got it right.
Lock out those windows. Its population helpless.
They killed everyone.
Here, a man desperate for revenge.
Harry M. Stark. An outland, bounty hunting, garbage collector.
He served papers on my family. I'm gonna kill him. And a woman praying for freedom.
She targets the parent. Nobody's perfect.
Join 7 travelers on a daring journey.
Skins own the Outland. They want everything that passes through it. Your only chance is if we stick together.
A journey of hope.
Things can get worse than they are now.
Things could be a lot worse.
A journey of no return.
We stay off the main road and push on for Neon City.
Come on, one more time. Take me home. Come on.
Vanity, Lyle Alzado, and Michael Ironside. Neon City. High-powered futuristic thriller, Neon City has all the action and thrills of Total Recall and Mad Max. The film's sensational cast includes Michael Ironside of Extreme Prejudice, Top Gun, and Total Recall, Vanity of Action Jackson and 53 Pickup, as well as Lyle Alzado of The Destroyer and Who's Harry Crumb. Special effects were created by Keith Holland, whose credits include Superman 1 and 2. Vidmark will support this release with full-page ads in Video Business and Video Insider. The film is available in a money-saving 2-pack.
And that's
movie trailer guy, too.
Yeah, it's a movie trailer guy.
Was that Peter Cullen?
No, this is the other...
That's the other trailer guy.
I think he even did like Movie Phone or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 90s movie trailer guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this, I mean... I didn't really pay attention when this came out till after I got done watching it the first time. This came out in 91.
Yeah,
so
I know.
This is like a straight up 90s.
I was surprised to see that. I was like, man, this kind of feels 80s, like late 80s.
It really does. But I love finding those VHS things because they're just trying to amp you up into buying it. We're going to run full page ads just to help support this movie out there. I never heard of it. I don't think you guys did it very good. I don't get that magazine that you apparently own a page of, you know, but you get it in a 2-pack.
Yeah.
And I think it cuts off because if I remember right, Pete, when we did this before, it's a lot of movies rolling into one.
Yeah,
ad.
they roll from one to one to one, and they don't stop.
And it's like, and that's not all. You'll also get Nowhere to Run with Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, stuff like that.
The retailers would get these on VHS, which is that's probably why they're so rare. Is because no one kept that shit. They either got taped over or got pitched.
Chuck them or something like that. I would love to just sit there and watch these over and over and over again.
Lost media right here.
It's a lost media. I have no idea. You talk about this lost media thing, and it made me think we had a retail store called Hills, and I don't know if you
Oh,
remember
sure.
Hills.
I remember Hills.
You remember Hills?
No, we didn't have Hills. We had a few
No.
little mom and pop places, but
was
they
like-
were like people who lived local.
Yeah, it's like a Kmart.
So my biggest memory of those stores was the toy area and
my
the
God.
end cap displays. They would do like action scenes of like G.I. Joes. They'd open them up, open up the vehicles.
Transformers,
They
Star
were in
Wars.
Transformers, Star Wars in a glass case. Kind of like what Target does with the Legos now.
Yes.
They're usually in that glass case. No one, and I have searched, and I am not the only one that has searched. No one has pictures of those to
Are you
document.
kidding?
I am
Really?
not kidding. I am not.
Wow.
I was in a few toy
Dang.
groups, and we have all like searched. I think once in a while there's been like a really grainy picture of like the shelves, and it shows like all the figures and stuff hanging. But Hills had these end caps.
Oh, they were beautiful.
They were. I stared at them. Like,
Yeah,
my
give
mom
me
and dad
both.
could go shopping, and I just stand there
Yeah,
looking at all the cool shit.
and you
my
had
G.I.
all
Joes
of them, even the My Little Ponies and Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh yeah, there
you
was
had.
all the girls. The Barbie
Mhm.
Dream House was in one. It just made me think of that, of things that we remember, but they just don't exist now because
Yeah.
no one thought to go, hey, we should take pictures of this. No, it was called, well, that one's done. Tear it apart. Here's the new line of figures. Put a new one up, and some manager's kid probably got every one of those.
What a
Oh,
good
yeah.
job to create
For
those
sure.
dioramas. You know, some Hills probably employed somebody on a corporate level to create those
build.
end caps, and then they would
Mhm.
probably give you instructions
Designers.
on how to. Yeah,
Oh, that would be cool to find the files, like where it
yeah.
would show
That's
like
that's what I'm saying. Like,
here's
well,
little
put your
pictures of where
Duke
this
over
goes.
here and your Optimus Prime over there, and yeah,
Yeah. You know, it's so
Oh.
sad. It's so sad these days. Like, even I grew up in the 90s, and I had KB Toys and Toys R Us, and even
Mhm.
now they're gone. If I want to take my kid to the toy store, I've got to go to Walmart or Target, or we can shop online,
Yep.
you know, or stuff like that. There's
It's
not really
a
anywhere to
loss.
go that's just toys. Unless
Yeah.
you go to like a touristy town, and they might have cool little toy shops there, or model
Mhm.
shops, things like that. But
That's the
no,
closest
just
we've
straight
got.
toys.
Nope. And it's going to be a forgotten thing, you know. Even now, where they're talking about maybe bringing back Toys R Us, it's going to be on a smaller scale.
I know.
It'll
Yeah.
never
So
be what we grew up
the
with.
footprint that Toys R Us had is just inconceivable at this
No
point.
kidding.
To have
There-
that,
there's not a
that
market
big of a
to
store
support it.
dedicated to only toys.
Yeah, there's
I
not a
know.
market anymore to support it though.
I think
so.
Kohl's has like a small Toys R Us section now.
Yeah, they do.
got
They
they
sell
got a
some
small-
I
toys.
think that's where I saw it. Yeah.
Dollar
It's a-
General,
it's
they
a
have some good
sign.
stuff too.
Oh,
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, they got some. But that's some reason we diverged on that. Well, that honestly, I
back my
think that's the
toys.
only little bit of nostalgia we can throw in this episode, because this is going to be a cold watch. I have nothing with this movie. I found it last year. I only just watched it yesterday for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this. I bought it from Kino Lorbo a few months ago on their big sale, and just because I wanted the physical copy, man, I'm glad I did. It is gorgeous. It transferred over really well. It says it's a 2K scan of the original 35 millimeter.
Nice. That's as good as you get. As
It-
long as
it's-
the negative is, or the film is in good
Yeah,
shape.
the film was in good shape. There was no like
well, it never got played, I
anomalies.
would assume.
Right? I don't.
See what
It's,
you did there, Pete.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
This is definitely. Everybody kept calling it an independent movie on the stuff I was reading and watching, and it very much is. This is very much a low budget, like independent movie for the '90s. But yeah, we have no nostalgia with this movie, and something that happened. I watched this last night. I went into this not knowing what this movie was about, even conceptually. And it really kind of caught me off guard watching it, because I've read the back of my DVD. I did not watch the trailer. I didn't want to.
Good for you.
I
I'm
told
so
Pete-
proud.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going in as cold as I can, but I did read on it. I didn't know this movie was a Western
Yeah.
at all.
Basically, yeah.
Not basically. This is a post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
Western.
Sure.
Dude, this is I watched it last night, and I guess this is what I can be on my history with it. I can just tell you what I experienced watching it last night. It starts out amazing. Like, it starts out like every action post-apocalyptic movie you could imagine. These people get attacked. There are amazing blood squibs from gunshots, guys flying all over the place, motorcycles, just a desolate wasteland. And Michael Ironside and that fucking smile he has that I love to death.
$1 million villain smile, man.
That's exactly it. And, I did know he's the good guy in this, but just when you see that smile from watching, Total Recall, where he has that smarmy kind of like, exactly. He doesn't smile a lot in Scanners, but when he does, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary. It's when you run.
It's like when he's smiling at you, bad things are about to happen.
Your heads are about to explode.
Yeah, exactly. So this movie just starts out awesome. And I'm like, yes, okay, I'm in. I'm like immediately thinking of, movies like Steel Frontier and a lot of those type of Steel Dawn, Pete.
Hey, I like what I like.
I like what you like. And as this movie kept going, and I was like, okay, we got to get a little bit of a story. I'm following it, and it gets into the meat of this movie, which is a journey from one area to Neon City. And I'm sitting there going, this is not what I thought. Like, there's something, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I'm also, I guess I just had my expectations in the wrong gear, basically, to watch this movie. I was just like, there's a lot of talking, a lot of characters,
a lot of talking, a lot of characters, a lot of character development, a lot of backstories,
Yes.
I mean, and they set it up all well enough that you weren't bored at the beginning.
No,
that could have taken, that could have been a real slog to get through, because there were 7 passengers.
I think there's 7 passengers.
Each of them get like 2 minutes of backstory, and they condense their backstories enough that, okay, I know who these people are, and I don't need any more than what you're giving me.
They build on it a little bit as the story goes. You get little extra pieces of them. So I was like, okay. And then I realized about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through going, okay, this is like a road movie. This is like, it's not about where they're going. It's the journey to the destination. Well, I got through all of this and I finished the movie and I finally started reading up on it. This movie originally conceptually was written as a remake of the old TV show Stagecoach, which was
all right.
Yes. Okay. See, you guys had the same light bulb moment I did last night reading this.
Yeah.
And I went, holy shit. The movie is everything on the truck, which is, we'll talk about it in a second. That's the movie. It is about the journey. It's really not even about Michael Ironside, even though he's the lead. It is about everyone intermixing together. And I think I've only really heard about Stagecoach, but what I read on it was, okay, I think I kind of get the concept of it. Every week it was about this one stagecoach and something would happen, obviously each week, like a robbery or a hijacking or some mystery murder happened on the stagecoach and they had to figure out what was going on. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. I got it.
I see that now.
I watched it again today with that mindset. I also turned on the commentary with the director.
Nice.
And just went, holy shit. I got it. I get it. And I tell you what, it changed my opinion like 180 degrees. Not that I was hating this movie, but I kept going, I like this, but what's going on? I don't understand. And when I got my brain out of Mad Max and into post-apocalyptic Western, I was like, it clicked. I got it. I'm sure there's still a lot. And there was one scene in this movie that nagged at me the most. It's when one of the girls, she's like the rich girl. She's not dressed in this area. She does not belong.
She's been in Switzerland. So Switzerland must be having a lot better of a time through this apocalypse than the States are, or wherever, they're at now.
She actually talks about that, which I was interested in. She goes, I was in Switzerland. She goes, I lived in a cave. And so a lot of people think you hear that like, oh, you've been living under a rock or something, that old adage. When she goes, no, they literally live in underground bunkers so they don't see everything. Everything's run by solar. She goes, everything's run by solar, but they never see the sun. And they eat chocolate. They're fat. They're white because they never go out. So you start getting this picture of, okay, so that's how this is global. Switzerland is just dealing with this differently.
Did you not get, I don't know if you guys watched Fallout, but I got major Fallout vibes from this. Fallout, Mad Max, and Escape from New York. Those were the three vibes I got watching this.
I haven't watched Fallout. I don't play the games. I know the concept of the games. I know basically what they all live in vaults, and it was all sectioned out by the government. And I did listen to your guys' coverage on that. So over on Cinema Slab. If you guys like Fallout, go listen to their breakdowns of that. It's awesome. And honestly, if you've never even seen the show, you can listen to it because, I mean, there's not much to give away. It actually, the whole season ends on a big enough cliffhanger. You're not like learning something you didn't want to know ahead of time.
Right.
It actually makes me want to watch it now.
Oh,
but the rich girl who is Juliet Landau. I was like, Landau.
She's Hollywood royalty.
She very much Hollywood royalty. Her dad's Martin Landau.
Shut up.
Yes. Mr. North by Northwest himself. Martin Landau. I forget what her mom's name is. But she's also very high ranking in Hollywood. So yeah, but she gets onto the stagecoach, and I was gonna get back to what I was saying. There was something that that nagged at me. She pulls out a book, and it's an Agatha Christie book, and it's Murder on the Orient Express. And I kept going, they didn't just do that. Like, they didn't just like, oh, here's a book, go throw it out there. Like, there's a reason that book in particular. And as the movie goes, the doctor did it. And it is the doctor at the end of this movie that did it.
Yeah.
And not that that's a spoiler for anything. There's nothing to spoil about this movie. They go from point A to point B. There's no mystery to the viewer. There's a mystery-ish to the passengers. Like there's something going on that even they don't realize is happening. And this is like a big like clue into what's happening. But there's also in the Orient Express, there's all these like characters. And they're all like there's the salesman, which we have the salesman on here. You have the rich, I forget what the word is. The very affluent woman,
the aristocrat.
Aristocrat. Yeah. Thank you, Pete. That was the word I wanted to say.
Fancy lady.
Believe it or not, I have read that book years and years ago, but I have read Agatha Christie books. But it just kept nagging at me like that's in here for a reason. And as you watch the movie, there was all these things telling me this is about what's going on right in front of you every time. There's not like some big goal at the end of the movie like most action movies. There's not going to be 1,000 explosions. There's not some giant warlord or anything like that. The whole movie is what I was supposed to be engrossed in. And I watched it on the second go. Totally changed my mindset on this movie. Not quite to Neon Maniacs, because that one had a charm to it and just, it was almost unexplainable why we all love that movie so much. This one was, I need to see it again. And it's also set up to where if you watch it one time, it's almost like they want you to go watch it again to see all of the little strings and threads to be pulled as it goes. But I don't want to walk us through this. I know a lot of people probably haven't even seen this movie.
Yeah. Ironically enough, y'all had the same thought last week with Possessor. Like one watch isn't enough. You need to watch it again to kind of find all the little breadcrumbs and Easter eggs and things that.
That was kind of what I was thinking, after I got done watching, because I got done watching this last night. And and yesterday was a movie day for some reason. I took Jackie to go see Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, nice.
I've been out, everybody, a 2-week layover. Remember how we record here. And then that night, I guess Anthony had listened to our Top Gun episode, and he got everyone to turn off all their electronics, and we all sat down and watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, fun.
Oh, Anthony and Liam loved it. Chloe could not care.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not even a little.
So they hadn't watched it, but he listened to our episode, and then we go, "Oh, that's great."
He gets that from his dad. We don't give a shit. We're going to listen anyway. So
yeah, no.
So we watched that, and then it was about 9:30, and I looked at Jackie and went, "We got to watch a movie." And she's like, "Oh God, we do." So we watched, Neon City afterwards, and I knew I wasn't like tired watching it. I was just like, my brain was just trying to figure this movie out because it's so different. I had Mad Max on my brain. I had post-apocalyptic, just ready to tear everything apart. But the second I realized that, oh shit, this is a Western. And let me tell you, when I go back in the second time and I go, I'm a fucking idiot. I should have realized it. So there's these like outlanders in this movie, and they're basically, the wild people that rule the outland. They're called skins.
Yeah.
And when you watch it the second time and you look at how their faces are painted and the war paint they're wearing and how they act, I'm like, fuck, this is a Western.
Yeah.
Those
they
skins
didn't say redskins.
They didn't say redskins.
Right.
But I was like,
clearly was implied.
That was 1000% implied. Matter of fact, they some fun info for you guys that I think helps this movie. Watching watching the movie with the commentary. One of the things that stuck out to me on this movie was it was not desert dry. It was like a winter wasteland.
It was cold. It was. Yeah. It was like Utah or something in the low.
It was
the
Utah.
lowlands. Oh, it was. It was actually Utah. Okay.
Really, really close to the salt flats.
Oh damn!
So
you think desert, you always think hot, but if you saw Winona, if you ever saw Winona Earp, which is a lot of fun of a TV show.
That's a sci-fi one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. There's not a lot of substance to it, but it was a lot of fun. And they have a lot of winter scenes in the desert, and it kind of throws you off a little bit. Not that doesn't happen. It's just not someone who's here from the Midwest. It's like, what? Snow is desert? What? I don't understand that.
So it was one of the things about this movie that I was actually enjoying. I was like, it's really cool that like this is like a nuclear winter almost. Like this is, there's snow on the ground, but maybe it's irradiated and that's why they don't melt it to drink it or something like that. Because they do talk about acid rain, and there are some weather anomalies we're going to talk about. But listening to the director, he goes, so yeah, we had this movie planned. I wanted to film out on the salt flats. I thought it'd look really cool out there, especially because this is on the bus. It was very, the truck. It's very important. He goes, we had everything going. We're looking at it. It's hot. It's everything. I told everyone that was cast, it's going to be hot. Be prepared.
Oh, no.
Movie got delayed.
Oh no.
And but when they finally got funding, and when they got funding, it was like, okay, go now. Like you have the money, you better start filming tomorrow, basically.
It was a real short shoot too. It was like 22 days. Yeah.
21 days.
21. Okay.
So when they finally got the okay, it was January.
Nah.
And the average temp was 10 degrees.
Oh shit.
So it changed the costuming. It changed. It's kind of why I feel like it works really good for the skins, because they all are like wearing something over their face. So it's not as blatant. And I'm like, I think that works to the movie's benefit. And even the director goes, it added something that I never knew I wanted. And he goes, now I wouldn't change it at all. Like it was meant that this movie was to be filmed like it was in the winter time with
happy accidents.
It's a totally happy accident. And it feels different than just a desert apocalypse movie, because it's not just Mad Max. There were like, I don't know, 5 or 6 Italian ripoff, Warriors of the Wasteland, Warlords of Atlantis, stuff like that. it's all very, the Italians went, Mad Max, let's make those movies. Those look awesome. It just changed the name. Put Fred Williamson in 90% of them and it'll be fine. It'll make money. But this one just felt different. And I don't know. It was just something about it as I watched going, I like this. I like that. I like this. I like that. Why am I not connecting to the movie yet? And it's because I was expecting Mad Max.
Yeah, I read nothing about this in advance. I saw no trailers, as I am wont to do. But when this opening scene, I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, okay.
I think that's when you texted me going, I hate it.
Here we go. Bang, bang, shoot him up. It's in the desert. Somebody's going to be a bad guy. Somebody's going to be a good guy. It's going to be a kiss in it somewhere. But after they got to the city and Ironsides turns Vanity over to an overfull jail, I guess, or holding pen or something, like he's bounty hunter, blah, blah, blah. And then once they get on the truck to go to Neon City, the movie, I don't want to say the movie changes, but once it starts getting into the film, the story it wants to tell, it does feel like it takes a big left turn where it's no longer like all of a sudden it's kind of like a survival. You said it, Charlie, perfect. Race to the finish. We got to get from here to there, and right away before their journey even starts, they're like, okay, we will refund your money if you don't want to go along with us because there's an uptick in skin attacks along the route to Neon City. Yeah. So if you don't want to go, you don't have to. We'll refund your money. We can go at another time. And they all, of course, refuse. And
they all have a very compelling,
very good reason to get
to
there
go.
when they have to be there in this short period of time, or that like this is the last transport that they can take before they miss. Like one gal's getting married, some guy's going for the clown is going for
it's a job,
an audition, audition.
Yeah.
Landau is. I forget what she was doing.
Her dad, I took it as like her dad almost kind of runs Neon City.
Oh yeah, so that's right.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
That's right. He owns Neon City or something like that.
And we see and Ironside is a bounty hunter who has captured just out of nowhere too. I don't think he was hunting her.
No, that was also a happy accident that he just kind of ran across her. Mm-hmm.
Saved her from this attack, this raid of the skins. That first lady that dies, that first gunshot out of shit blows her backwards back into the store. That was the moment I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be a good movie. I was just,
I was like,
in. Yeah, no, it was not quite Django when they shoot the one lady at the end and they literally do the rope trick and yank her into a whole other room. I always felt bad for that stunt woman. I really do when I see that scene. I love that she dies as a character, but the stunt woman I feel bad for.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I got that like holy shit. But he finds, and this is Vanity. And so I know Vanity from Barry Gordon's Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Show enough.
You me both.
Am I the prettiest? So it was kind of weird to see her in this because she played like a pop princess in that one. She's also in Action Jackson. She's the hot girl in that one, aside from Carl Weathers. And so seeing her in this, I was just kind of like, well, that's an odd choice. Like Vanity, she's a very pretty city looking girl.
Yep.
But as the movie went, I kind of dug her. Like I was like, okay, she's getting into it. And
it was believable.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I forgot her name from Indiana Jones, the blonde girl who gets drug around in Temple of Doom.
She's the one from Temple of Doom?
No. I say that's who I was thinking of.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because I haven't seen any of the Indiana Jones ones. I've watched the first one. We've talked about it on Cinema Slab. Mm-hmm. But Hannah is waiting to do Temple of Doom for her next Indiana Jones pick. And she always complains. She's like, it's my favorite one, but the blonde lady in it gets on my nerves because she complains all the time. So when you said that, I was like, shit, is that woman?
I was getting at that she doesn't come across as that annoying character in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. She actually gets pretty tough in this movie. Even though I know, and I guess I was listening to the director, and he goes, we got her, and she was not expecting, what she was in for this filming. Like, we didn't have trailers. So when you're waiting for your shot, you're literally sitting over on the set waiting for your shot. And she's like, where do I go? And he's like, right there. She's like, I don't have a trailer. He's like, no,
Papa Squat.
Cold. Yeah. There's a
chair. There's a rock.
There's a heater over there sitting next to it. And I was like, that was kind of cool. But I get, even Michael Ironside was talking like she really kind of like got into it, and a nice way of saying she toughened up as
good.
Production went, so it works. So I did end up liking Vanity. I just felt like when the first time I started watching it, going, that is very odd casting. Like I would have expected her being one of the other girls, like either the rich girl or the girl that's going to get married.
She would have done the Landau part pretty well.
I think she would have, but I kind of like the girl that they got. That she has a very olive oil kind of look to her, very wafy, thin frame, does not
innocent.
Yeah, does not fit this world at all, and they even call her out on it, and that's how we find out about Switzerland. So I was like, they don't leave anything. They don't leave you trying to guess something, I guess is the right way to say it. Like, this is kind of well written as well, even though
there's no ambiguity to the ambiguity.
No.
Is that a word?
Yeah, sure.
Ambiguity.
Thank you. There it is.
We left out a syllable, apparently.
It's an odd word.
Minus Mr. Wing, everyone's story was pretty clear as to why they were going from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And you were rooting for all of them except for the doctor, of course,
which
wasn't really a doctor.
And let me say, I had to remember that guy about a third of the way through the movie, because we see this like ruffian in the first town we're in. It's like Jonestown, something like that. I forget what it's actually called.
Jericho.
Jericho. I knew it was.
I said Jethro.
It was Jethro Town. Jericho. We see this kind of like rough looking guy following people around. He kills a guy, gets his money, and he goes to a doctor, and he gets what we kind of look at as like fentanyl or something. It's like a drug they drop in their eye. Some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting his fix.
And I guess I was still just not really knowing what I was watching. I never paid attention that he was actually killing that doctor when the camera kind of cuts away.
I missed it entirely.
It happens off camera.
Yeah, what happens, but he puts those glasses on, and I was like, well, what's the symbolism of that? And then it just kind of fades, and I didn't put it together that that's that dude in the doctor's clothes getting on the transport, because they say, hey, you're going to have a doctor on this trip. And I'm going to talk about my dude in a minute, but he's like, oh, that's awesome. I love when we have a doctor in case something happens. It's always a good kind of backup thing to have. But I was like a third of the way, but I guess it was like one of his close-ups, and I went, wait a minute, that's that.
Yeah, they snuck him in. Director pulled a fast one and just snuck him in. I think
he did a really good job.
Because the doctor that he killed was bald and a little rounder than this guy was.
Yeah,
and this guy had this beautiful head of curly hair.
Oh, it was a full head of hair. Pete was so jealous.
I missed it too, Charlie. You're not the only one.
Okay, I kind of felt like I glazed over something, or maybe he choked him out or something. I didn't quite catch that, but they did a really good job with it.
And he also kind of favors Bulk too, the guy that's driving the caravan that kind of has a history with Harry, Michael Ironside's character. So they kind of favored each other. And then I kind of got confused every now and then. I'm like, well, wait, is that the same person? And then I'd be like, okay, no, they're different people.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly who I want to talk about now, because
I love him. He's my favorite.
This movie has rekindled something that I had forgotten about Lyle, which is his real name, Lyle
Yep, go for it.
Alzado.
Yep.
Yeah, Alzado. Lyle Alzado. He was a football player in the 70s and 80s. He was considered one of the most brutal football players. Like when I started looking up this dude, because I was watching this movie going, I know this dude. You can ask Jackie.
Yeah, he played for the Raiders.
I was like, yeah, he played for the Raiders, the Broncos.
When the Raiders were the bad boys of football, he was leading that charge.
No shit, really?
There were games where I forgot what the game was, who they were playing, but he like ripped the face mask off of another player of their team. Now it's kind of come out in some stories that some of this was made up, or not made up, that it didn't happen, planned. So they were really trying to go for that, not quite wrestling WWF style, but he was roided out. Like,
yeah,
he
sadly,
was never shy about
that's when roids were never legal, but
they were the norm,
also,
I guess would be the word. Like,
yeah,
like you saw this dude and you went, that guy's on steroids,
mm-hmm.
And I don't think he was ever quiet about it. But I when I looked him up again, I was like, I know this dude. He's the fucking construction worker from When Ernest Goes to Camp that they all fight against at the end of the movie.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's Lyle. I was like, oh my God. There's a horror movie I've been dying to cover and I've never seen it, but apparently it's him and it's called Destroyer and he holds a fucking jackhammer.
I've seen that cover. Yeah.
Yes, that is Lyle. He did like once I started looking up what he did, he used to do like Hanes commercials, like even Tough Guys Love Comfort. He was in Burger King commercials. I had this wave of nostalgia going, I remember this dude. Like I knew that face, and watching this movie going, oh my God, what happened to you? And then I read, like 2 years later, he died. He got sick. Yes, he got sick, and the whole time he was alive, he was blaming the steroids. He didn't know he had a brain tumor. It only came out after he passed away that they found the brain tumor. Even during this movie, the director said, we didn't know he was sick. Lyle didn't know it was a brain tumor, but he was hiding that he didn't feel good. And it was a year later, he called Lyle and he's like, hey, just wanted to check up on you. Like he had heard he wasn't doing good. And he goes, how are you doing? He goes, I'm not doing good, man. I'm not doing good. And he goes, I hate to hear that. He goes, I loved you on that movie. He goes, that movie, I had the absolute best time of my life. And thank you for that. And I was like, that warmed my heart so much listening to that. But
there's your nostalgia. You didn't have, you said you didn't have any. There you go.
But I was like, I got reminded of someone that I remembered from a child. And the second I saw it was the dude from When Ernest Goes to Camp. And I was like, he's that giant motherfucker, the yellow construction hat at the end where they're doing like the catapult and the launcher thing where they put the turtles into it. And Ernest comes up and he's got the turtle stuck to his nose.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I love that movie so much. But yeah, Lyle. And I love him in this movie. That between him and Michael Ironside, which we get that there's some history between the two of them. Lyle went to prison. Michael Ironside used to be what they call a ranger, but basically he was a cop.
Yeah.
And then he left due to a guy that kind of fucked him over. And we get this new mission that he's on. So he's got to take Vanity. I don't know. I forget what her actual name is. To Neon City to get paid. And in the journey there, he finds out that this guy he fucking hates with a passion is in charge of his old like ranger regiment. And now his goal is to go there and kill this motherfucker.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah. Get paid, kill a guy I hate. Awesome.
Great
what
day.
He's not banking on
great
is his ex-wife being on the same transport as him.
And that part of the story is really sad.
It's very sad. Very sad. And if you're not paying attention, you don't really catch what happened.
Yeah.
They were married, and the reason they're not married anymore is they had a kid. Mutants are a problem to society in this movie. Kind of like Total Recall. a little bit like that, where they were all on Mars, kind of pushed off to the side in society. Like people knew about them, but they didn't really associate with them. Well, this is they're treated almost like lepers.
Kind of like Fallout.
And so very much like Fallout. And we find out that Michael Ironside and her had a kid. The kid had a mutation. From what I gathered on the second watching, the mutation was not as bad as like some of the ones were shown. Like,
yeah, I think it was literally just like cosmetic mutations.
Yeah.
Like he said he was born with a cleft palate. Like that doesn't mean you have mutant blood. Like kids are born with cleft palates all the time. So that's the way I took it. The kid was killed and he really wasn't a mutant. That's how I took it. And then he wants to get his revenge, and he also feels like his ex-wife lied to him because he felt like she had some kind of mutation in her and didn't tell him, and because of that their son got killed, and so he hates everybody. He's a grumpy man.
He does. He's a grumpy.
He does. Well, we find out she was a prostitute, and
I forgot about that.
I think he was blaming that as to why the son may have had a mutation, you know, kind of like an STD kind of situation.
Oh, okay.
The movie takes a really dark turn when they have their like face-to-face talk, and he apologizes to her, and she goes, "They fixed me because of you." Like what they did
sterilized
to
her.
me.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm with her. Like, apologize. Okay, fine. If you feel better that you apologize, but they fucking sterilized her. And now she's trying to move on. And you've been a shit dick to her forever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow, they really kind of dug into that. Like, I was just like, damn. I'm not in a movie, a low budget post-apocalyptic movie, was I expecting that level of like emotion and storytelling on a backstory for Michael Ironside and this girl.
That point at that point is when I started to get into it. And whenever, and I don't even think she's talking to him at this point. It's when she's talking to Vanity, I believe, or the rich girl. But she's kind of.
She tells her about that, but this was after the mutant family at the I'm gonna say restaurant, but it was like the rest stop where they got to eat.
yeah.
I think about that.
That felt very Fallout too. With
It was because this guy comes out and half of his face looks like the one dude from Total Recall, and Michael Ironside treats him as if it's another dude. And what's her nuts, the rich girl, she's like, you treated him like he was normal. And
I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh, I wanted somebody to smack her. But we figure out that everyone kind of has this like ew with the mutants, but Michael Ironside's really the only one that's like, it's just a person. Like you kind of feel like he's changed his outlook since what's happened to his kid. I feel like honestly, if I wanted to break this movie down, we could probably talk for 3 hours about this movie because there's that much meat on a movie I was not expecting. I'm going to keep saying that. I was just something about this movie. Like I'm going to revisit this one quite a bit now. Like seriously, it wasn't a normal run and gun movie. There is a lot of fucking guns and explosions and stuff happening, but Pete, this is one of the things you've kind of gotten on to me about before. And this one kind of gives it to you as a lot of character development.
Yep.
Like you
sure did.
Care about the characters, good or bad. You have a reason for how you feel about them as the movie goes.
I just wish they kind of would have been fleshed out a little more. I think that's where it kind of sunk me a little bit, was I was having to keep up with too many people. And I feel like Michael Ironside and his ex-wife's story, and even Vanity's story as well, because her and Michael Ironside end up together in a total turn of events that I was not expecting. I'm like, this feels a little rushed.
That
so I feel like maybe
squeezed out.
Yeah, I feel like if they had maybe focused in a little more, maybe made the group a little smaller, kept bulk, kept the doctor just for fun, maybe killed a few more like main characters, you know, maybe instead of the Bright getting to Ironside's ex-wife, maybe he could have killed her. That would have added a little more, you know, oomph. But
yeah, because we don't get that till like the tail end. But
yeah,
I do want to fix something for both of you because you both kind of ewed at the love scene in this. Now, there's no nudity in this movie, which I was actually kind of surprised because there is a pool scene. I guess is that what we're going to call it? A hot tub.
Yeah.
In the wasteland. That was a choice.
Don't worry about it.
It's clean.
It's clean. Michael Ironside, I guess him and the director really got on well. Like it was almost like a familial bond that even because there was Kino Lorber did a direct interview with Ironside about this movie, and he has very fond things to say about this movie. There's never a moment where he's like, "Oh, that piece of shit." He goes, "Man, I wish more people understood what we did there." And I was like, "I got you. I now that I've watched it twice, I understand where you're coming from." But he does say, he goes, "I tried to talk him out of that whole scene." He goes, "It didn't feel right." And the director's like, "It's got to be there," which means it's a canon thing. Where's the sex? There has to be some love in this. But Michael Ironside, he goes, "So I got ready to do that scene." And he goes, "I've never done a love scene in a movie." He goes, "It's not my characters." He goes, I pulled Vanity aside and I went, "I have no idea what I'm doing." He goes, "She took care of me."
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
She led it. This was such a weird turn because I always hear this on the other end, but it's from Michael Ironside going, "She made me feel comfortable. She made me feel okay in my own skin. It never felt awkward during the scene. And she was completely professional and gentle." He says the word gentle about the entire situation. I went, "Motherfucker, I never would have thought I was going to hear those words about a B-level movie of a random love scene coming from Michael Ironside of all people."
Yeah.
I was it was just something else that has now endeared me to this movie even more of how they're thinking about it. And Vanity, she passed away in 2016.
Yeah, she sure did.
She died fairly young. I think she was only in her 50s, something like that. Yeah. She had a big drug issue. It was one of the things the director talked about. She actually had to go once a week and take a drug test. Just so insurance would cover her. So there was a lot of it's why they got certain people. So whenever you go, "Why? How'd they get Vanity?" That's how. Not speaking ill of her, but I'm just saying that's she was affordable to get for a movie of this budget, which was not very high. I don't think I ever got an actual number from this, but this was a canon situation. They sold it overseas to so many distributors, and that's how they got their money. This was not like a big budget studio back in this thing. This was, "Here's your money, go make it now." Which is why they had to go in the wintertime and do it.
For what they put together with the amount of money they had, I think it was effective. I got a feeling that we were in an apocalyptic wasteland.
It looks right, and this other part I wanted to talk about was, so this is a stagecoach movie. The stagecoach is a truck. They filmed a lot of this in that truck. They took the bed off, built a plywood box down the side, set it up where they could take certain walls off for filming and places to put the camera. But he goes, "We built it where when you see them in there, they're in the back of a truck." So some of the camera would be hard mounted on the thing. So if the truck moved, it didn't give you like that jiggle motion. Motion camera, hand camera, whatever you want to call it.
Make Pete barf.
I hate it too. I can't. That's why I can barely watch the Jason Bourne movies. I can't stand that type of filming. But they actually built a truck, filmed in it, and like a lot of the outside shots of the truck going down the road, all this other stuff, Michael Ironside hanging out the side. That's Michael Ironside hanging out the side of a fucking truck going down the road and them driving beside it. I'm like, yes, that is the kind of movie making I like to hear about and watch because it feels real. It adds an extra level of, sucking me into the movie is whenever I don't feel like, well, okay, that was definitely a stunt double that went flying. All the stunt doubles are the skins And it works
Yeah.
perfect. All their faces are covered. I don't need to know who they are. There goes a stunt double. Who knows?
Yep.
One of the horse wranglers is the dude that gets jerked off the back of the horse at the beginning of the movie, and they do the whole wire gag, and he goes, I can do that. And the director's like, okay. He goes, well, I can ride a horse. Hook the wire up to me and pull me off of it. Director goes, so he did it. Jerked him off of it. Knocked that dude out cold for like an hour. And he landed where I needed to finish the shot. So part of me is going, we need to move him. He's in my shot. And then he goes, I had to tell myself, wow, you're a piece of shit for thinking that. This guy's hurt. Can't move. We don't know if he's hurt or not. But I'm worried about my shot that I got.
Yeah.
Not because the guy didn't know how to fall. Because the director goes, stunt guys know to fall heel, butt, shoulders, head. So you're distributing. The guy goes butt, back, head, and falls down. And he said he was out like a light. He said he was okay, but he was laying in the middle of the shot that he needed to finish for that one set. And he was mad at the guy. I can't move him. He said,
So damn it, he said he could do this.
He's like, you notice how close up we are on Michael Ironside and Vanity in this shot? The guy's still laying back there
out.
Because we can't move him. I wanted to feel bad, but I'm also laughing at, I was like, that's low budget movie making right there.
Yeah.
Dude got the shit knocked out of him.
Yeah. You're going to get hit sometimes.
But you're watching all these motorcycle, so in replace of Indians on horses, we're watching skins on motorcycles, Mad Max style. Dude, they're wrecking them things. Like they're flipping them motorcycles off of other motorcycles.
There were a number of very good motorcycle stunts as they're getting, what was it? They had a laser at the end of this stupid movie.
That was so cool.
It was ridiculous.
I love the
But that laser, that dude could not miss it. Every bike got hit with every
was
laser
Michael
blast.
Ironside, of course.
It was hilarious.
He's hip shooting it too. There's no sights on that damn thing.
There was one shot where there was one motorcycle who I think he started to fall before the explosion happened. You usually get the boom and then the bike goes down. I'm pretty sure I saw one of them. I think he even popped a wheelie. Like he pulled back on the front tire. Way before the explosion actually happened.
He was anticipating it. It didn't happen when he thought it was going to.
Exactly.
There's that one. And then when they get done with that raid, there's one motorcyclist left that turns around. I'm pretty sure the rim was bent because he's trying to keep the motorcycle upright and he's still trying to keep the shot going. How do you reset that? You've already wrecked 3 fucking bikes behind you in fire. So he's like, I got to keep going. And I swear that back tire is bent. He is giving it hell, keeping it upright, running away. I was like, dude, just lay it over. We would have been okay if you just, okay, he's dead too, but it was so good. But we've watched, I don't know how many of these movies now. I start looking for that shit. It's just, it makes me laugh and, just kind of, it makes me smile too when I see it. It's just like, man, I love this like gritty kind of filmmaking. It was one of the big things like Michael Ironside was saying. He goes, I was offered huge movies. I turned them down to do this. He goes, because I looked at what those movies were and he goes, I don't want to do that. He looked at this and went, I'm going to do it. He goes, I literally took this role and then called my agent and said, I'm doing this now. And the agent's like, well, you're doing what? He's like, it's what I want to do. Well, this big paycheck or this little paycheck?
But feeling more fulfilled by what you're doing.
As an artist, he's got fuck you money at this point. He's got like, fuck you, I can do what I want.
Exactly.
And he did not get paid for this role.
Oh no, he got paid. I mean,
but he, I can see where he was at a time in his career where he could make creative choices that wouldn't starve him.
They're not going to starve him. And it's not like this would ever derail his career. I mean,
it's still an action movie. It's Ironside. And what is this? The only lead he's ever had? As a quote, good guy for sure.
I think this is like really, I think one of his only leading roles. I mean, he was in V. I mean, I grew up watching V. Pete, I'm sure you watched V.
I watched
up,
V. I remember that gerbil getting eaten.
That gerbil getting eaten. But Michael Ironside was a recurring character in that. That was a main role for him. It's where most people even knew him from. Then, of course, I grew up with Total Recall and all these other movies that he just kind of Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
I fucking love him in that. He's not in it a lot, but man, he's memorable.
Yeah,
him and the Kurgan, I remember just as much as Casper Van Dien. But it's just something about him that I have just always kind of liked, and it's like, if I could rock a ponytail like Michael Ironside rocks a ponytail in this movie, I'd try to talk Jackie into let me do it because man. I dig the Michael Ironside ponytail in this movie.
He can rock it, that's for sure. Have you guys seen the new Late Night with the Devil movie?
I still haven't watched it.
He is the narrator of that movie.
Ooh.
Yes.
He's got a good voice too.
He does, yeah.
You don't really I hate not that I say you don't pay attention to, you don't realize how good of a voice he has.
Yeah, it's very captivating, and it's kind of like done. This is no spoilers, but it's kind of like in a documentary style, and he's narrating the documentary. So it's very, as someone who loves documentaries, anyways, it's very just you're sucked in, and then you hear his voice too. He's got a good voice.
Yeah, and this just kind of feels weird. I feel like I'm not doing the movie justice at all because I'm not. It would take me 3 hours to tell people what this movie's even about, and to make sure I cover each character as it goes. And I'd rather if people just go watch it. So literally, if you're listening to this and you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, Charlie, go watch the movie. I think is it still on Tubi for you guys?
It's on Tubi. That's where I saw it. The transfer's pretty good. It's not. I don't how you described it. It's not as good as yours.
Gino Lorbo one.
No. But it's okay.
It's better than the Day of the Dead that's on Tubi.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
Bad?
Yeah, you just check it out whenever you get a few minutes, just to see what it's like. It literally looks like somebody popped a VHS tape in and hit record to capture it.
Oh no! Oh no!
But some movies have that effect. Like I don't care that. Like I'm gonna pop on Tubi and watch a Day of the Dead on there because I like that feeling about it. Some movies it just works with.
Some movies I like having the grit. Now this movie's still very dirty and very hazy because that's how they filmed it, and that's something we haven't really talked about. Is like there's even like elemental things that they're dealing with.
For a movie called Neon City, it is very earth tones. It's
very dull. Yeah,
there is neon in this movie, okay, and there's way more neon. I'm telling the audience, but the most of the neon comes at the end of the movie because Neon City is literally neon, and I'm so happy with that. But the bright when they go through I guess it's like a solar flare, but it's something about the pollution in the air refracting the light
from the sun.
Science, Toho Science.
Toho Science, climate change.
Hey, he kind of, I think Bulk kind of described it as like a rainbow, but brighter.
Yeah,
that's why all the colors are there,
and it'll strip you of your skin. It'll give you 5th degree burns.
It's a cool scene
moments.
that they
go
is. Through.
It's harrowing.
It's tense. You're holding your breath, like.
Yeah, they're putting like blackout things down on the glass on the windows, and they just got done being attacked, so they literally roll from that into the bright, and it superheats the area. And Bulk drives this truck, and this is where more of the Mad Max influence comes from the vehicles. Bulk has this system where it's like, okay, flip this switch. It's like a cooler for the engine, flip this switch. And then it's like, okay, if this temperature reaches this area, hit this one. And there's literally tanks of water on top of the vehicle that explode and soak the vehicle to just till he can get out of this little sunspot
anomaly. Yes.
Anomaly and get out of it. Now I talk about that because Pete, you brought him up a little bit, but there is a character, Mr. Wing, and we're told that there's another anomaly that goes around. And what was it? It started with a Z.
Xandar
cloud. And I'm like, that's kind of specific. Well, we find out as the movie goes, the reason there's a post-apocalyptic world is this doctor, Xandar, invented a laser and it shot a giant fucking hole in the ozone layer, like bigger than anything the world ever thought could happen.
And at that time in the 90s, that was a big
Well,
thing.
that was huge. There's a hole in the ozone, Pete. We
ozone
all
layer.
knew about that, man.
We
It
sure
was
did.
all the girls with hair in the 80s that caused it. Aquanet.
Fluorocarbons, the CFCs, were getting into the upper atmosphere and turning the ozone into like just oxygen or something.
One of
And
my funniest scenes I will always remember from the Drew Carey show is it was wintertime and it's like a blue cold winter, and Drew Carey opens the front door, holds a can of hairspray out, and starts spraying outside. And I forget which one. Someone goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Screw the grandkids. I'm cold now." And he's spraying hairspray out to start up global warming because that's what we all blamed on it. But then we find out Mr. Wing is
Xander.
Is this scientist. And he had invented this laser for good reasons.
For good. He was
good.
Oppenheimer. He invented this to be good, and it turned out to be bad.
Ooh, you said a word, Pete, and I was questioning whether I bring this up, but you said a word.
I did.
Yeah. You did just now. Yeah. And I was kind of, I wasn't sure if I was going to bring this up or not because it was in the commentary. They were talking about where they were filming. They were originally going to film on the salt flat, like on the salt flats.
Okay.
But he said that was before it's been really taken care of now. He goes, it was so rough that the truck just up and down.
Oh,
couldn't film on it. So they went up a little further north to the border of one of the other states, and there was a runway out there.
Oh,
that
okay.
was like perfectly flat, perfect for filming on. It's the runway the Enola Gay took off from.
No kidding.
No way.
Wow.
I heard him say that on there and I went, oh shit. Like, you're doing a movie about a post-apocalyptic. You know, it wasn't nuclear, but you talk about this guy who invented something and pretty much destroyed the world. And I was like, I kept trying to think, like, how do I bring that into the conversation? Hey, by the way, Hiroshima's because, you know, they filmed her this. You said Oppenheimer, and I went, oh, by the way,
bingo.
You're welcome.
Anytime you see the truck like driving in a straight, like even when the Raiders are behind them, they're on that runway, and it's where the Enola Gay. It's where the Enola Gay took off.
Wow.
On that run. That's it's part of history. It happened. Can't erase it, but it was just kind of something. It was just like, wow, that's not quite prophetic, but just kind of weird to have even been on there. You know what I mean? Just even knowing that little bit of information, making the movie, I would have been like, damn, that's where we're at. And it wasn't that much far. It wasn't that long ago back then. You know, we're even further away from it now.
Yeah.
You know, even that was a little closer to.
Yeah, it sure was.
You know, timeline back then. So, Pete, I was really kind of after you sent that first message.
That's right. I did. Have
I hate this. Something like that. I forget exactly what you said first. And I was like, God damn it, already. But no, I am really curious because as the movie went, I went, wow, I kind of want to know what Pete has to say about this movie.
That opening scene, just like I said, was like, oh boy, here we go.
Well, the second I saw it, I went, well, that's what Pete's talking about.
But as the movie went on, this is I'm not going to say this is a star-studded cast, but as far as having nostalgia for this film, there are so many characters in here that I have seen over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you got Michael Ironside and Lyle Alzado. Shoot. I'm so sorry. Thank you. You got those two guys. And then Vanity, which is a favorite of mine from The Last Dragon.
Yep.
But then from WKRP, Les Nessman is there.
Yeah.
As God is my witness, I thought they could fly. And then
Oh god.
I'm walking down memory road without ever having seen this movie. And of course, Julie, oh damn it, Landau.
Yeah, Julie Landau.
Julie Landau played Drusilla in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series for 7 seasons or something. And that TV show has a special place in my heart. I will defend that one till my dying day. And last but not least, I thought Mr. Wing was the old Chinaman from Gremlins.
Gremlins? No, it's
No,
not.
it wasn't. It wasn't. I thought for sure. Nope, it definitely wasn't. Right. But his name was Xander, who was a character in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that brought it back to.
It's a planet in Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they said that. I was like, hold up. What movie am I watching?
So I had a good time seeing these characters that I don't get to see, these B characters I don't get to see. Hell, maybe C characters I don't get to see.
Yeah, kind of C characters.
I don't think I've ever seen Les Nessman in anything else but this and WKRP.
I only know him from WKRP.
Couldn't tell you anything.
I know Wing was in Darkman. I think he played a character in The Shadow, and he's a character actor. He just kind of pops up here and there. There is a character in here, and I don't know if either of you watched The Office.
Sure.
Okay, I know of it. I've seen a handful of episodes. Never even realized it till the director was talking about it. At the end, the guard that is talking to Michael Ironside about there's being a serial killer there, and he steals the gun. That's Creed from The Office.
Way.
Oh my gosh, super young.
Yes,
he would have been very young. Yeah,
I didn't even connect those dots.
The director goes, I don't even know who, because his kid told him about it later, and he's like, I don't even know who that is. I didn't even know that person was on the set. Like, it's not like someone it was like an extra. Yeah. But it's Creed.
That's so funny.
Is at the end of this movie, and it is kind of wild.
Hey, there was one scene. So, Bulk is also really wanting to get to Neon City because he wants to see his sister again, because he said it's been
Astrotown.
Yeah, on the way to Neon City. And he said it's been 5 years since he's seen her. Well, through the turn of events that happened, she ends up dying. But when he comes in the room and he starts bellowing because he realizes she's dead, I got strong Pieces vibes when Linda George is yelling, "Bastard!" And he just kind of lets it all out. That's just where my mind went.
I love your mind, Anna. You keep that up. That's
I haven't,
crazy
I haven't seen
fully
Pieces.
endorse it.
I've listened to like 2 episodes about that. I think you and A Cut Above have covered it, and I was like, I need to watch this movie one of these.
You haven't seen it, Charlie?
Pieces is a hoot. Bluto from the Popeye movie is in it.
Yeah, so good.
Okay.
Yeah, that giant man. Yeah, he's in it. That's the only oddball guy I know out of that film.
I have an affinity for really big dudes on movies. That's why I connect with Lyle and stuff, because I'm a big dude. So you know, it's like that's my people. And they made it in Hollywood, and it's like I want to, maybe on another.
And have you seen those puzzles you can buy at horror conventions? That is the Pieces puzzle.
Yes.
Puzzle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you guys. You know the guy that Michael Ironside meets at the beginning? He's like the sheriff,
his
or whatever
buddy, his frenemy,
all this other stuff. That's the director.
Oh,
that's the director of the movie.
That's cool.
No way.
Monty Markham. So yeah, that's I was like, this guy, when I was listening to the commentary, and they kept talking about Monty and stuff, and I was like, they keep talking about this guy and they're not saying his name, until I realized every time they would talk about the director being in the movie, they showed that guy, and I went to IMDb and looked it up, and I was like, the motherfucker, he's in his own damn movie.
Why not?
I guess he was involved with Baywatch early on. Like he's directed a couple episodes, but I think he like
some money
produced it
then
or something. Yeah, because the editor, the guy that edited this worked on the Baywatch, and because Baywatch, they did the pilot or first season, and then they were waiting for it to get picked up for syndication. In the middle of all that, he edited Neon City for him. So I was like, wow, that is such a weird, like, this movie's connected to Baywatch.
Keep working.
So
polar opposites. Yeah. Keep working.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Gets cash and paychecks.
Editing is editing.
Yep.
So I don't know. I really thought this was going to be a really short episode. Like we wouldn't have enough to talk about. And I just feel like now it's like, I don't want a 3-hour episode about Neon City for some reason. The movie's good. It doesn't need us to talk about it.
No. Even though there's substance to it, there's not, we don't need
There's substance to it. I do want to say, I like that. So we know there's a serial killer and he's kind of killed people as we learn on the truck. The first couple times they do it, you don't really catch on that while Lyle's bulk sister was pretty fucked up. Like she was probably on her way out.
Yeah.
And she passes away. On my second watching, I'm like, I wonder if dude finished her off.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't catch that again. I didn't catch it till I watched it again and went, oh, this dude's like really like, until we see him pouring the poison that this salesman, it's like a suicide drink. It's called the bye-bye bag. That's what they called it.
Yes.
And he peddles suicide. He says, it's kind of wild that he's a man that, you know, he's a comedian / magician. He's an entertainer. But laughter's the best medicine, but to survive, he sells death. And I was like, that's kind of a wild way to kind of look at that character. Until I seen the serial killer doctor guy, like pouring it down this guy's throat. You're just kind of like, oh, this guy's like, fuck it. I'm going to kill him.
Dr. Death.
Yeah. He's essentially and he's not really even a doctor. Like you realize he's like faking his way through everything.
He's assumed the identity of a doctor.
Yes.
And
he
shaved
assumes
his
the
beard.
identity.
He's even in the morgue going, I'm a doctor.
He goes,
he's like hyping himself up.
Like he's crazy.
One of the like outlanders that they killed, he's laying on a table and he's like, I'm gonna cut your heart. No, I feel like a gallbladder today. And I'm watching it going, what's up with this dude? And I think it was right about then I went, that's the fucking serial killer. Holy shit. Like that was my moment of motherfucker's got him past me. And he doesn't look like the doctor at all, but he got it past me.
Yeah.
But we get to the end and, you know, he is the reason why Michael Ironside's ex-wife dies. She does get damaged in the Bright, but then they say, well, she was given a lethal dose of barbiturates. And
that's right.
Serial killers taunting Michael Ironside, like, I didn't quite know exactly how much to give her. So what are you gonna do? He's very like blasé about.
It's a great line.
It is a great line.
What are you gonna do?
The best fucking line in this movie is when Ironside, the Creed, comes up to him and he's like, hey, we just got note. There is a serial killer who is masquerading as a doctor on the stagecoach. We're going to find him. And the pieces start coming together for Ironside, which is the throwback to the Orient Express book. And he looks at Creed and he goes, give me your gun. And he pulls it out of Creed's holster and Creed's like, what for? He goes, mine's out of bullets. It takes off after the serial killer. I'm like, fuck, yes. That is.
Why else?
That's a great line. Give me your gun. Why? Mine's out of bullets. Chases this dude down. The kill is a little for me. I guess we can end on this is they're up at the balcony. They're with the rich, affluent people. They make it to Neon City. The daughter of the guy is like, these are my friends. So they're mingling. And Michael Ironside's on the lower level. He sees the serial killer. Serial killer sees Michael Ironside and I guess puts 2 and 2 together like, fuck, he found out already. And Michael Ironside's pulled the gun on him and he like holds Vanity hostage, puts a scalpel to her
throat. Yep.
And then the rich girl's like, you killed her? And the killer turns around and the director goes, it's his moment of vanity. he can't not take credit. So he turns to the girl and went, "Of course I did." Michael Ironside shoots this dude like in the like collarbone area, chest, like 3 times. A handgun, I don't know, 50 yards away is what it felt like. It was away beside the woman you love's head.
Right.
Like Vanity didn't
miracle
duck.
shot.
She's there. Miracle shot 3 times.
Yeah.
But he does do the Western fall and fall off of the balcony onto the lower area.
That's when you know for sure it was a Western, because it's like he's in the saloon and he falls from the balcony. It was
he shoots that guy up in the he's in the clock tower.
He should have shot him from the hip. You know.
Oh, that would have been even more unbelievable. But what they really should have done to let Charlie know what he was watching was a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
All right, I say we get into the things and we'll talk a little bit more about the movie. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies.
Body count, body count, body count, body count.
I am shocked we got this much content out of this movie. I really am. And I'm actually happy because, like I said, I think I've got a new appreciation for a movie I never even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So body count. This is a little weird. I can only find Michael Ironsides kill, which is 20. So I did
That's respectable.
A real quick run through of my head going, if he got 20 of them, I gotta say with the serial killer killing, I think it was like 4 people we saw on screen, maybe 5, that there's probably at least 40 kills in this movie because everyone's shooting outside of the state. Everyone gets a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vanity kills 4 because I know she saves the rich girl when she gets yanked out of the stagecoach. That was cool as shit. That dude's head comes popping out, yanks her through the window, just like in I'm telling you, the second time you watch it and you go, I'm watching a Western.
Yeah,
it's all there, like in your face, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm stupid. Look, I don't watch a lot of Westerns, okay? If they were all post-apocalyptic, I'd watch a lot more Westerns. Apparently, that's the flavor I need on top of my Western. Post-apocalyptic and then Western, and I'll love it. Steel Frontier. Everyone needs to go watch that movie. It's fucking amazing. I love it. But, yeah, so I'm going to give it a rough estimate at about 40, because believe it or not, no one else has counted the kills in this movie.
Damn.
Somebody did all of Michael Ironside's kills in all of his movies.
You have homework then.
Oh, okay.
Charlie.
Oh, so I got to go back and
you got homework this week. Yeah.
Next time I watch, Nick, I am going to watch it again. I've watched it twice in less than 24 hours. So that says a lot. Like, I really wanted to give this movie every chance just to make sure I just wasn't like tired and not like, maybe I didn't understand it, because sometimes you watch a movie and go, well, that didn't make sense and you failed. This one is, I just needed that second go and to realize, especially after I watched the trailer and they literally say Western in the trailer for the movie. And I'm like, well, if I had known that from the see, Pete, sometimes you need to watch the trailer so you know what you're watching.
No, I refuse. I will not do it. You will not convince me to do so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's pick our favorite.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Look, we got them all in the right order this time. I didn't miss anything. It's
wonders
amazing.
Never cease.
I know. It's like I've done this once or twice. Anna, let's start with you. Do you have a favorite kill? There's a lot of gunplay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kill in Neon City?
Definitely the lady at the beginning, when the kennel lady. Just because it's like animal violence, and that makes my heart sad to think about these poor dogs getting eaten. And kudos to Michael Ironside, because he sets them free. He says, it's your lucky day, dogs. But yeah, when they walk out and she takes that bullet, I was not expecting it to take off that quick. So it caught me off guard. So yeah, I got to go with that one.
I'll give you a little extra bonus that goes with the Michael Ironside letting the dogs out. If you really think about it, the dogs get to eat And guess what's laying around?
The lady, yeah.
Well, the lady and all of the people he just shot.
Mhm.
So the dogs are going to eat good.
Karma.
So no longer people eating dogs. Dogs eating people. So
have a feast, pups.
That's it. So and you don't feel bad about it at all. Pete, what about you, bud? What's your favorite kill in this movie?
I'm going to double down with Anna. That was a surprise. That the kennel lady got 2 words out, and then boom, like whoa! It was shocking. I wasn't prepared for it. I'm like, okay, here we go. Got my popcorn, and that gun goes off. Trying to establish some characters here. I'm losing my voice. I'm done.
Take a drink and continue, sir. It's called editing. Or
There we
Charlie
go.
will just fill the dead air. There you go. Welcome back, Pete.
Welcome back. That was it. That was a fun way to start a movie that I knew nothing about.
Yeah, because that's the moment when Pete texts me and goes, "I hate this movie.
I'm gonna hate this movie. I'm gonna hate this. I like the kill, but I'm gonna hate this."
Yeah. That is like the kill in there. Although I kind of want to go with Lyle when he busts in that room and picks that one dude up and then just like bends him around, like he kind of pretzels him and then
manhandle him.
Then like hammer strikes him with his arm. Basically, like it's not graphic, but it's just that giant dude grabs little dude and breaks him. And kind of like it lets you know he broke his neck and stuff. I do like that one. I also like when Lyle shoots the guy that jumps into the cab of the truck.
Oh yeah.
And the guy has his sister's ring on his shirt and he grabs the ring right as the guy falls out of the truck.
Yeah, that was
But
good.
honestly, the best kill is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not expecting it. It is a nice like panoramic shot of wasteland. There's like a little thing that pops up about I think it's 2085 or something like that, the Western Federated area. And you see Vanity and this old lady and the dogs with the sign and all that stuff.
Did you see the sign? How it said at first it said best place around, but then they marked it out and put only place
best.
Around.
I pointed that out to Jackie and I went, look, they marked out best and put only. And she's standing in that doorway and that just gunshot out of nowhere. And it also leads into a really awesome opening because that gunshot happens. Vanity pulls out a knife and is getting ready to hold these guys off. And then you hear gunshots again out of nowhere.
Taking them
guys
out.
Are just falling off their horses, falling down. That one guy turns around and then there's Michael Ironside. He moves that thing across his face, that smile there.
Starts
cheesing the rifle, just cheesing away. So yeah, I love Lyle's kills, but I'm going to give it to the but the old lady just gone. It's a huge blood squib.
That's what you get for killing dogs.
Yeah.
Blood squib on her.
Even in the apocalypse, it's not cool.
Well, it depends on how hungry I am.
Depending on how hungry I am, but I'd have to be pretty damn hungry.
If I've ate all of the dog food already, which they do make that joke because they're showing in Jericho, they're like, because that one dude's he goes, I have money, give me food, but they're rationing it regardless. And the one lady's like, well, they have dog food, dog jerky, dog, all this. But now I'm starting to wonder, was it dog food or was it dog
food? Yeah.
Dog jerky. So I was like, it's kind of like Demolition Man. It's Rat Burger. It's the best burger I've had in years. But yeah, let's rate this bad boy. I think this is going to be a fun thing. I brought Pete's favorite back because I was like, what do I put for this one? I think it's just a lot of revolver guns. And I do like they did explain because one of the other people that worked on the movie is kind of moderating the director. And she goes, well, what was your idea as far as the weapons go? Like you have such a collection. He goes, it's the end of the world. He goes, weapons still exist. They're metal, they're iron, they're everywhere. So you would have like a hodgepodge of 6-shooter, Western looking weapons, and Michael Ironside carries around a Desert Eagle and there's shotguns. And he goes, and he goes through the trouble of even showing a reloader at Jericho Michael Ironside drops a sack of casings, and he's
right.
like, 357 casings. He does. So he's like, I've established this world, and I'm showing you, like, you can't be like, well, where do they get the bullets? There's a guy that makes the bullets. There's a guy that does this. There's a guy that does that.
There's always a guy.
His main thing in making the movie was there's not a shot that's wasted. There's nothing in the background he doesn't want seen in the movie. It's not like they built a giant set and filmed 20 feet of it. They built where the camera goes, and then, okay, that's done. Let's move on over here, build that one. So it's not wasting any time or effort or money, especially on low budget. I like that. I was like, it works well. It lended itself well to this type of movie. So let's rate this. I'm going to wait on Pete. Anna, what are you going to rank Neon City?
Oh no. Well, so I did take Charlie's advice. I watched this once and I was pretty much sold on the fact that I was going to attempt to rewatch it today after work before we recorded. But then when I kind of brought it up in the group chat, he told us that it really warrants a second watch. So I was like, okay, now I'm definitely sold. I'm going to make the time and watch it again. And it does. It's a lot better the second time around. Like, I feel like I have a better idea of all the characters and kind of what's going on and what is everybody's game plan and all, and how they kind of interweave and all that. But I kind of feel like, for me, that's to the film's detriment a little bit, because I've got ADHD, and when there's too many characters in there and there's not enough, I kind of disagree. I feel like there's not enough story for them. To the point where I didn't really care about him at the end. Like, it was a happy ending. I was happy for Ironside and Vanity and the little guy who started everything. You know, he had some luck and they picked him up on their way out.
Right off in the sunset.
Yeah. He's like, well, with
right.
a little luck, I think somebody will pick me up. And sure enough, you know, they showed up. But I think it was kind of, everything happened just a little fast. I think that if there were less characters, maybe the Ironside Vanity story could have fleshed out a little more, maybe given it some more detail. Same with him and his ex-wife. Maybe there could have been a
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like a love triangle in this apocalypse, you know, something. But I like Bulk. Yeah. I just feel like there were too many characters and it kind of took me out of it. But I do enjoy what they did with the money they had. And I think it's definitely a fun watch. I would recommend everybody check it out at least once, even though a second time does help. The music's great. I love whenever we're introduced to the rich girl and this like quirky kind of goofy music starts playing in the background.
Looney Tunes, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect it to play behind her entrance. So you would kind of expect something a little more eloquent or fancy to play. And they're playing that. And at first I'm like, this is kind of out of place. But then as the movie went on, I'm like, okay, I see why they did that.
They all have their own sound cues almost.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
I really appreciated the music. And then at the beginning too, whenever we're in that big gunfire scene with the skins, and when it's Ironside and he's with the last guy, he's not scared, even though he's pointing a gun at him, and he says, "You're out," talking about you're out of bullets. And I was like, man, that's gangster. He was counting as they were fighting. Like, hell yeah. So I dug that. And just the details of the Bright, like, that was really cool. I think that was probably my favorite scene in it. But yeah, all in all, it's on Tubi. I think everybody should check it out, like I said. But ultimately, you guys have brought this conversation up just a smidge. So I will rate it a 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, fair. Well, again, there's no nostalgia attached to this movie. This is just one of, we don't do a lot of cold watches here, but we knew going in this was going to be a cold watch. So it's not like Charlie grew up with this movie and he loves it to death, and you're really going to break his heart if you're like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Right.
It very possibly could have been what I said watching this. But Pete, let's hear it, bud.
Yeah. So I started out not liking this. I ended up not hating it. It was fun to see all the characters. I wish there had been something to make fun of in this movie. There wasn't a lot of humor, and there wasn't a lot of, the dummy falls that I so enjoy.
I would have liked that.
even more unbelievable. Although the laser gun at the very end was
so cool.
That was making me giggle a little bit. But
the doctor built it out of a flashlight. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. A lot of these goofy, not goofy, I should say, but a lot of these earnest action movies of the 90s, there are things to make fun of, and there wasn't really anything to make fun of. Do I recommend it? Yeah, go watch it. It's worth your time. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 6.5 because
hell yeah,
it's a recommend. Not a terribly strong one. I don't know if I'll watch it again, but it was well acted, and yeah, it was a good time.
It's a quick watch too. You're not stuck on the couch for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right. It's like an hour 40. Like it wasn't terribly long. And honestly, if I had to vote, I would say ditch the love scene between him and Vanity and have Vanity save his life. Like
definitely, yeah.
Big, like not just, oh, I saved you. Make it like a really big, like Michael Ironside was about to get fucked and she saved him.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would
make a little more sense where their connection would lead.
You would have got more of the sidekickish kind of feel instead of this very awkward love thing when your ex-wife is in the stagecoach with you.
Yeah. It was rushed.
Awkward.
Yeah. That was probably my biggest like down thing for this movie.
Well, Charlie, what do you rate it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been struggling with this today because I didn't hit me like Neon Maniacs did. I love Neon Maniacs.
I need to watch it.
This is technically a finished movie. There is a beginning, middle, end, so it's already got that over Neon Maniacs. And like Pete said, there's nothing that I can just be like, oh, that was just fucking stupid. I am out. There's nothing happening in this movie. And while I do love a good mannequin fall, if there's something you're going to give me instead is actual stunt dudes doing insane stunts.
All day.
And I am here for that, watching literal bodies fly through the air. Like they weren't making a lot of money. They were just there for the work. So, bravo guys, you did a hell of a job. And I watched it a second time because there's something just nagging at me going, there's something there, Charlie. Watch it again. You now know it's a Western. You now know it's a stagecoach style setting. So don't worry about how awesome the beginning starts and don't worry about the big ending finale with a baddie. Pay attention to what's happening and enjoy the journey. Make it a road movie. And don't compare it to Mad Max because it's not. There's motorcycles and one other car that could make it Mad Max. That car was cool though. Yeah, they actually cut flames in the back rear quarter behind the tire out of the sheet metal. So you can see through it, but there are flames. I'm like, that's something I would do.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go big. I'm thinking I'm gonna go 7.5.
Ooh, yeah.
I definitely recommend checking this out. Like, this is Michael Ironside a great leading man? No. And he knows that. He has said it. Did it work in this movie? I think so, because there's so many other characters that he's not carrying this movie. I think
the pressure's not all on him.
The pressure is not on him. If anything, I kind of get what Anna's saying. There's so much going on. You have to pay attention. And when you have a movie that's only an hour, 40 minutes, you got to be careful how long you stay on one particular person or another and not lose track of the story. I do feel like it could be a little tighter. I feel like there's some writing thing because the director also wrote, so a lady wrote it, based it off a Stagecoach. He went, okay, I see what you're doing, but it could be better. So he wrote it again, keeping some of the themes. And I kind of get that. I feel like this is one of those written, directed, acted, edited. This is produced. My baby. Produced, his name's everywhere.
Sound effects.
Yeah. Pew, pew. He's the one that did all that. I love that laser. The little blue light.
Pew, pew.
You have a 2-second recharge between each shot. And he hit
Right.
And you got to hit him right at the back of the gas. Like he says this, hit him at the back of the gas tank, and that'll take him out. And he does every single.
He does every single time.
And after each hit, too, his smile gets a little bigger.
His smile gets bigger, and even the serial killer dude inside the stagecoach is looking outside, and he's like, "This is awesome!" And he's like, they're cheering him on with this laser gun.
Like, yeah, kill him.
That's where my 7.5 comes from. Like, there's points where I am just having fun with this movie. I love Bulk, Lyle Alzado. I gotta find. We're gonna cover Destroyer now. I've decided at some point next year I'm pulling that movie.
I'm down for that. That sounds very silly.
I'm gonna figure out a way to bring Ernest Goes to Camp on here. I'll pull whatever I need to do to get that movie on. We've already done.
Make a few phone calls.
Stupid. Yeah, I'm just gonna. We're getting it on the show. But yeah, I'm gonna go strong with it. I think 7.5. A high recommend to go watch it. Check it out. It's not gonna cost you anything. I do recommend get the Kino Lorbo. I think I only paid like $10 for this movie on their sale thing, and it's a gorgeous Blu-ray.
Damn.
Just to see how good it looks. But it doesn't just end with us. We got another review sent to us on the email. I have no idea what we're in store for.
Oh,
okay. I didn't listen to it. He literally sent it to me 30 minutes before we went live to record.
Silliness. That's what we're in for.
It's Nate, or is it? I don't know.
Or is it?
It's definitely not as long as the last one, so don't worry, everybody.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably for the best.
I think he realized he ran out of stuff to say and stopped.
Stop. Stop. Oscar was a good movie. Oscar was good. I liked Oscar. I got Angela. Oh, you gotta get Carter. You just gotta get look. Hey, how's it going? What's up? Give me back my action horror movies. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Pete. Hi, is it just Hannah and Hannah, or is it just Hannah? I don't know. It's pretty cool. I was supposed to watch Neon City this week with the one Michael Ironside, but I didn't. I don't know what I was supposed to do. No one told me anything, and so I didn't even call up Michael Ironside. And you know how he is, he'd be all like, I'm Sid Fisher. I was in the Splinter Cell games. Ooh, look at me. I gotta fight my evil arch nemesis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, who was all about? He was a spy? Was he a spy? You know, when I watched Total Recall, I thought I figured it out. Like, it goes in chunks. There's a moment where it's real, and then there's like a moment where it's not real. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. He's in Total Recall, I think. And then he's not in Total Recall. And then you got to Quato, and Quato goes, the prophecy! You gotta give him the prophecy, Wade! And so, like, and then Michael Ironside is like, you can't, I'm gonna shoot this glass. And then he shoots more glass. He's like, he can't get away. Mars needs oxygen, or I'm gonna take the oxygen, I'm gonna sell it. Anywho, that's my review of Neon City. I guess I'll catch you guys next week on whatever movie it is, because I'll be honest with you guys right now, I really don't know. So, bye, everyone.
I really got.
We can't take him anywhere, y'all.
I got to start listening to these before I put them on the air.
Make that decision warning in advance.
I was not expecting Sleeping Stallone. Him dreaming about all the movies he's done.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Nate.
So yeah,
you're a gem, Nate.
Yep. Or Stallone, whoever it was.
Whomever it was, right?
Yeah. I listed the file as Nate City because I had a feeling he didn't watch the movies. So
Nate City.
He clearly didn't watch it.
honestly totally forgot he was doing this until he sent me he messaged me that like these emails popped up on my phone and I went, oh shit, yeah, he's supposed to be doing that. And he messaged me going, oh shit, I just remembered I had to do that.
Yeah. Everybody's shitting and forgetting.
That's how long Nate and I have known each other. It's just on the same wavelength, totally forgetting each other. All right, well, that's good. I think Pete's enjoying these a lot better than the negative reviews, the trash reviews.
Oh yeah, I hate the trash reviews. They make me so angry.
And honestly, I didn't want to read any, but I was actually looking at some of the reviews that like people speak pretty highly about this movie. Like it's just
gotta see it.
You just gotta watch it. You know?
Yeah, I watched a couple of people review it on YouTube. That like nobody big reviewed it. But the few little people I watched, they dug it. And they were like, check it out.
It's worth your time. And I mean, that says a lot nowadays with movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is one that doesn't take forever. Not that I was upset that Deadpool and Wolverine was over 2 hours long. I enjoyed every fucking minute of that movie. But no, I don't need all my movies being over 2 hours. So it's kind of nice to sit there and watch a movie and it's like, oh, it's done already?
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're already at the point where, stuff's getting ready to happen in the movie. All right,
I call those the little gems. Those are my favorite kind of movies. Like hour 30, hour 40 minutes, and you walk out and you're like, huh, you just feel like that was good. I love those.
That was good. And I still have the rest of my day. So
yeah, makes you happy. Cheers you up.
That is. All right. Well, that's Neon City, everybody. That's our half a Neon month. So
whoop, whoop.
We're done. we finished a month.
I just wanted to let Anna know that if you love these movies that are 90 minutes and less, you're in for a treat next month, dear.
I'm very excited.
You are in for a treat next month because next month. What am I saying?
I was going to say next week. Pete, you don't know what time it is.
I was thinking, is he saying month or Monday? What's happening next month? Have I forgotten something?
With Pete, it could be anything.
It could be anything. I don't even know.
Pete, why don't you tell everybody about the movie you picked for next week?
So make sure Jackie knows that this is a Pete pick.
I've already told her. Sometimes I tell her it's your pick even if I picked it. So
this is 1974. It feels like a Hammer horror movie, but it's not. It's not from the Hammer studio, but you get that same blood, and they actually use a few of the same sets in this one because it's set in a big castle. It's called Vampires with a Y.
John Carpenter.
No, not John Carpenter. I've told you this.
Vampires.
Vampires with a Y. It is a filthy, dirty, horny movie.
Why?
And because you get that
because we're degenerates and that's what we want.
This isn't spoils of horror.
It's wonderfully filthy. There's not a lot to it.
Fun and dirty. I'll take it.
Is there gore in it, or am I literally going to be watching softcore porn?
Okay. There's a little bit of that for sure.
It's like I can't not say sure. There's not some in there.
I will not.
Thank you for your honesty, Jackie. Make sure you're taking notes and listening to this.
But for sure, it's got that. Like I said, it's got that classic Hammer horror. If you've seen that Crayola blood that comes out of Dracula's
waxy
victims,
blood,
that waxy blood sort of
very
thing.
Nice.
I wouldn't say there's like it's not Day of the Dawn.
Dawn of the Dead.
I
know. Dawn of the Dead's got the Crayola blood. I know.
Yeah,
be damned, I love it.
It's got that thick,
thick
with extra C's.
But it's not quite that gory. It's not going for the realism. They didn't have the budget for it. So yeah, Vampires, 1974. Go see it on the Tubi.
Good old Tubi.
Yeah, this is what happened. Like I remember after I give him like, hey, can I pick a movie? Sure, Pete. It's been a while. Then he does this, and then I remember why.
I have to take my opportunities. I get a couple in September too.
Hey, I just got to say, we are sponsors of Pete Month over at Cinema Slab, so we fully endorse Pete's crazy picks.
Yeah, he's got a fucking cheerleader section now. February. I don't know how I feel about that.
And I have such sights to show you next year.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I can show you the world.
Yeah, I think 4 years was a good run for the show.
Gonna get canceled.
Yeah, we're done now. Yeah. No, but yeah. So Pete's got a pick. I have something in mind for the final episode of August. I don't want to turn my card over just yet because I want it to kind of be a surprise for y'all.
Tease.
It's yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well,
and
I would hope
Pete,
so.
I think you would enjoy it. I really
All right,
do.
bring it on.
Yeah, I'll I'll tell everybody what I'm bringing next week. And
Well, I would hope so.
Well, yeah, sometimes I don't wanna. Sometimes I'm like,
Okay.
you can wait till the episode drops. Be just as surprised as the rest of us. But
anticipation.
Anticipation. All right. Well, I am still shocked at how much we got out of Neon City, and I am so happy about it. And
We're
if you
professionals.
We are. We got this down. We
like to hear ourselves talk.
Somebody should pay us to be quiet.
I gotta say, as a movie lover and as friends of y'all's, it makes me happy to see you guys had such a good time with it and enjoyed it as much as you did.
Yeah.
Could have done without you, Anna.
And appreciate a movie that kind of subverts our expectations, I guess is one way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of nice. It wasn't quite Neon Maniacs. I know I've said that, but this one's still, I call it a win. This was a win.
Indeed.
For sure.
Yep.
All right, everybody, you know where to find us. This episode's long enough. We will see you next week with John Carpenter's Vampires.
No.
Damn it. That was great.
If you end up watching that movie, I'm going to come down. No, I will see you hopefully this weekend.
You might. That doesn't mean I won't watch John Carpenter's Vampires.
That's fine. I got no problem with that.
You're fine as long as you don't have to watch it.
There's so many boobs in this movie.
All the boobs.
And in this movie, you two were oohing about the sex scene that doesn't show anything, yet now it's like, boo!
It wasn't the
I wasn't oohing about that.
It was the Stockholm Syndrome is what was
It was
bugging
like,
me.
this is too fast.
Oh, it wasn't.
It came out of left field.
Yeah.
We didn't dig into it during the show. This is all bonus. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
She also got assaulted by the serial killer guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 minutes before she has sex with Michael Ironside.
So she's already warmed up.
I
then.
even mentioned it to Jackie going, I don't see how that got her in the mood.
I know.
It was so weird. Still a good movie, though.
Still a good movie.